Hello, it is Tuesday.
Tis
Tuesday, and we know the day is the week. We're doing well.
Yeah.
Yesterday's some good feedback on yesterday's miniatures. People talking about, it is a great way of getting into the whiskies, tasting them. I mean, 50ml samples is lovely. The 200ml bottles even nicer. Scotch industry is so much further ahead on us than the miniatures.
But if you want to taste a whiskey and not want to pay the expense in case you don't like it.
Speaking of expense, did you see recently in one of the UK auctions a miniature went for top dollar? It still has a bit to go. I think the one that we sold in November 2020 went under the radar of the miniature pearl.
Yes.
For €4,200 for a miniature. I think some of the miniatures yesterday have a bit to go to catch up with that.
Maybe just a smidge.
Exactly. Today we're going to talk about the new breed. Following on yesterday's also news of Connacht Distillery going up for sale, we thought we'd talk about some of the new breeds of distilleries, new brands and so on, and sort of seeing where they're going to go, what they're doing at the minute. Some of them are only now coming to term.
Yeah.
And are getting their
people are only starting to hear about them and
it's
check out their whiskies and stuff.
They're in an awful position. A lot of the brands, they want to try and build brand awareness, but they're doing it with other people's stock, with it bought in source stock, and they then want to really shout from the rooftops when they have their own. And some can afford to not do it. They've got big deep pockets and they've got other sources of income, and others do really need to get the money coming in, because one of the things yesterday in the announced price of the Connacht Distillery was 11 million for the distillery, which I think is fair and reasonable. I mean, there's considerable structural investment in the distillery, putting it together, even getting ahead of the list to get the pots and all that sort of stuff and the equipment.
An awful waiting list.
There is. So much so that Forsyths are reputedly having a team in Ireland now, full time, just outside Kells, I believe, and they're going to be based here, and they're going to be servicing all the distilleries here in Ireland. So that's how big it is. Look at me, Google. Also, one of the other things was 9 million for the stock, which again, one of the things that people don't realise is, when a distillery sets up, from day one until the third year, bare minimum.
Yeah.
They're carrying the cost of buying the raw ingredients, paying the staff, paying the utilities, paying the energy costs, barrels, everything else that goes along with it. It's a lot of money. Huge amount of money. So it's one of the things that people don't. And then sometimes the brands are in a hurry to try and recoup some of that, and they come out with it during the inaugural release and go, here you go, and it's €12 million, and you look at it and you go, lads, you're getting a wee bit carried away. So Connacht, as I say, is one of the ones that we're going to talk about first, because again, following on from the news that it is up for sale, it's a long running saga in Connacht. There's been friction there for a while, but it's up for sale. Will those first releases now begin to attract a bit of a premium? Who's going to buy it?
Not us.
No, definitely not us. Kidding. 20 million, bit beyond my reach. But 20 million is not a lot to some people. I mean, you'd have a lot of the brands there, and they'd buy it as a small little thing. You've people within Ireland and within America and around the world, Asia, that 20 million, you'd buy it as a pastime. Just
well,
for
as
something
I said, 20 million, somebody wants to buy a pastime, they can buy Irish whiskey auctions.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
20 million won't even entertain me. No, not even close. No.
It would be.
No. you'll sell your 1%, will you?
We're not having this argument.
Shortcross. So the Shortcross Distillery up in the Redemont Estate in County Down is part of the renaissance that is County Down. I mean, you've got Dunville's, Redemont Estate, you've got Hinch, you've got Two Stacks, Cologne. You've got so much happening in County Down that it's really going to become a real focal point, I think. Yeah. And I think there's marketing opportunities there for them to really push it and really drive it. But they've had some gin releases. So here's all their gin releases. So 44%, 43%, 42%, 43%. And this is the Hillsborough Castle edition. Small batch cask age, What's the difference? What am I missing there? I'm obviously missing something.
Maybe they're different casks.
They're different in cask, but I wonder what is their casks. Casks from Chateau Cantemerle Grand Cru Classé, France.
Look at that.
That is, and yes, that's a limited edition one, and that is something else. Anyway, but that's just gin for the gin drinkers. This is the one that a lot of people spoke about, and this is the inaugural release from the Short Cross whiskey. And I think it is a cracking presentation.
Oh, it's amazing.
So that is the inaugural release. There is only, is it 300 bottles? I'm just going to swing it around now to have a look at it. I can't remember exactly. And I'm not going to be able to tell from there either. So I'm not going to pull it out. But anyhow, set of 2 glasses, branded 2 glasses in it, in a lovely presentation box. That is the Short Cross Radamon Estate. Short Cross whiskey, Radamon Estate. Short Cross gin, Radamon Estate. 2 different things. Yeah. Michael, Meisel, whatever you call it. Porrick and the team. I know Mark's over there now. Mark McLaughlin's with him in Galway. And they're going to do something special over there. A lot of people have been talking highly of them. That's one of their potchings. It is one of the highly rated potching. Laurie and a few of the guys who I would listen to on potchings really rate that. Francis Levy, a lot of the guys who really are into the potchings really rate that one. That's the Heritage Edition. That is bottle number 30, batch number 4. So that'd be a nice one to have as well. Speaking of, when we were talking about the buyouts and all that sort of stuff, there's one of the Riders' Tiers. So Riders' Tiers were recently bought by, I don't know what, can't remember the name. There's 4 letters, A or K or K or M or something like that. I think it was a great move for them. Yeah. I think that's a great move, and it's great that they're still involved and really driving it forward and doing what they did so well with the Riders' Tiers and the Irishman and all that, and the products are still coming, and so that's great to see. That was one of the Ulysses. That was a centenary edition, special edition done. Glendalough was another one that was bought out as well. Glendalough was founded by some friends and some guys who are in the industry and making potching and making some gins and real good stuff down there. They got bought out by Mark Anthony, I think is the company. They're a Canadian or American based company, and again they're sort of changing things down there. I know there's Jen Maguire. Jen is Michael's better half. Lot better half. And she is really pushing that, and she's been there from the start.
Oh, we done a tasting recently.
We did, and Jen done it, and she was brilliant. She just she doesn't do it that often, she said, but she just was exceptional. She's really she knows her stuff. I mean, Jan Bluffer wasn't there. He was away gallivanting, drinking or something like that. A stag, no doubt. Hinch is the other one I wanted to talk about as well. So Hinch up in Ballynahinch, or just outside Ballynahinch, they're having some cracking stuff. We're looking forward to, we're going visiting them with our whiskey bus, and I'm looking forward to seeing Jamie and the guys up there as well. I think that's going to be a good one as well.
It's a fantastic place, because we went up, do you
remember? We were for lunch one of the days. It was savage. It is really spectacular visually.
It's amazing, place, and apparently again, the food in it's fab too.
It has even the things on the top. They're not called pergolas. What are they called? The things on the top. It just visually it is fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
Lambay, another one that I don't think has really gone under the radar. Has gone under the radar in Ireland. I don't think many people have really engaged with it. I know they're part of the Camus French cognac stable, and again, it just shows that a lot of these international brands, I think Moët and Chandon are the only one that don't have an Irish whiskey brand at the minute. I think if I'm stand corrected, they're the only one. But a lot of like Pernod Ricard own IDL. As I said to you, Mark Anthony got involved with Glendalough. A lot of these,
the French
they're all coming in and really wanting to add an Irish brand or an Irish distillery or an Irish. Recently, we had the Paddy Sazerac group buying Lough Gill.
True.
Yes. That's another big one as well. I mean, there's so many of those things happening, and I think there's going to be more of them coming in the years to come, because there's just the opportunity there for these brands, and they all want it.
it's good for the small brands here in Ireland because then it helps to.
It's an exit plan for them as well. But I've always wondered about the ones like Cologne, and I love Brendan. I love what Brendan does. But is an international brand ever really going to want that boutique of a distillery? Maybe they will, and maybe these are things that they do in Scotland and we're just not aware of. But Cologne is primarily Brendan.
Yeah.
And unless somebody's coming in, I mean, they're not. You can't make that place any bigger than it is.
No.
You can't. You know, they're not getting more 40-foot lorries in and out. So then you're moving the production away from there, and then does it lose its, uniqueness and what makes it special? And all that stuff.
I don't think it's the place that makes it unique. I think it is actually Brendan.
Yeah, but I'm saying if he gets bought out.
Yeah,
he rides off into the sunset with he gets his 20 million that he gets for
Brendan won way more than 20 million. He's worse than you.
But he rides off into the sunset. What does he do? He think, and it's one of them real strange ones that does he have an exit plan, or is he? And which I genuinely believe he's doing this because he loves it. Yeah. He's so passionate about it as well. That's why 20 million wouldn't entertain me. I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
21 and a half would do. I say Camus owns Lambe, and they are one of the ones. So they've heavily concentrated on the cognac cask and all that sort of stuff. But also the power of these big international brands. They've got the infrastructure. They've got the marketing. They've got the reach. They've got the distribution channels. I mean, I know from talking to Liam and the guys in Two Stacks, they're the challenges that they face.
Yeah.
Dahi the same for WD O'Connell. Having to literally go out and walk the streets to find your distribution partners. Perhaps making the wrong move as well. Getting in with a guy.
That's the fear, isn't it?
Yeah, getting in with a guy who's going to promise the earth, the moon and the stars and say, oh, we're going to, we're going to do everything for you, and then maybe don't deliver on it as well. So that's all the challenges facing a lot of the new brands in Ireland. I think us as Irish Whiskey Auctions, it's really important that we try and promote them as much as possible and shout it from the rooftops. I mean, we do a fair amount of shouting for Middleton and that, but God knows they've got enough budget and money and everything else to do their own things, whereas if we can help out the Colognes, the Hinches, the Short Crosses, any of the smaller brands, I'm always happy to do it. So
and we have nearly tasted all the liquid.
But if they want to send any more, and t-shirts, make sure they're 2XL t-shirts or nearly bordering on 3XL t-shirts now. COVID wasn't good to me, or I've always been fat. And we'll come and drink your whiskey and wear your clothes.
He's such a scab.
There we go. That's it.
So
tomorrow?
Don't know.
Haven't a clue. We're winging this week. We literally are winging this week.
I walked around these aisles this morning going, what am I going to talk about?
Yeah.
I hadn't a clue.
I know, actually, we might talk about a few legacy bottles tomorrow. I know there's a few special ones there.
At least you've got a bit of a plan. So
that's it. We're gone. Today's Tuesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Go live is on Friday. Yes. And that's it. We'll talk to you all. Bye-bye.